This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for 17 News at Noon. I'm Nicole Gitsky. Now, an investigation is underway this afternoon after a person was killed by a train in North Bakersfield. According to Bakersfield Police, it happened around 7:15 this morning on K Street near Chester Avenue. Police say when they arrived, they found a person dead on the train tracks. Because of that, Union Pacific will handle this investigation. If you have any information, call Union Pacific at 1-888-877-7267. The person's identity will be released by the coroner's office at a later date. Now, in your 17 Crime Watch, it was a deadly weekend in Kern County with police investigating multiple shootings. According to BPD, one of the shootings happened last night at the Rosedale Inn just before 11 p.m. Police say 31-year-old Corey Michael Fisher was involved in an argument with another person when the suspect drew a gun and fired one shot. Fisher was transported to the hospital but later died. The shooter and a female drove away in a dark Ford Crown Victoria. If you have any information, call BPD at 327-7111. And another shooting left one person dead in southeast Bakersfield. Deputies were called to White Lane near the 99 just after midnight on Saturday for reports of shots fired. When they arrived, they found 39-year-old Jose Manuel Arujo had been shot in the chest. He was rushed to Kern Medical, where he later died. It's unclear what led up to the shooting, but police say it happened near what appeared to be a party. If you know anything about this shooting, you can call the Kern County Sheriff's Office at 861-3110. Well, this week is National Crime Victims' Rights Week, and with a record number of homicides in Kern County last year and a staggering number to start 2021, victims don't just include those who died from violence, but those left behind. This week was initially established in 1981 by President Ronald Reagan as a time to honor survivors and victims of crime, as well as the organizations and public servants that support their pursuit for justice. Now, this morning, the Kern Law Enforcement Association and Bakersfield 3 Charity teamed up to support local efforts to reduce and solve crime in our county. They held the Tea for Three golf tournament, raising money for secret witnesses.
Here in Kern County, we normally have a victims march. Because of the pandemic, we can't do so. So we're trying to do some other things to make sure that we raise awareness of victims' rights and also make sure that victims know that we stand by them and support them.
The District Attorney's Office will also hold an event to honor and remember those on this Wednesday. They'll display photos of victims of homicide from the year 2020, hoping to draw people's attention to those we have lost. That's happening from 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. at 1215 Truxton Avenue. All right, now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic. After a record-breaking 500 COVID-19 hospitalizations in January, state shows that only 3 dozen people are receiving treatment. Now, 33 people are in the hospital, according to the state data. 7 are in the ICU. We haven't seen numbers that low in more than a year. Meantime, 20 new cases were reported today. About 50 people are getting infected every day, an average slightly higher than last week. 1,322 lives have been lost to COVID-19 in Kern County since the beginning of the pandemic. 2 people have died this month. Over 1,300 lives that have been lost in Kern County were more than just statistics. They were friends, neighbors, and family members. We have created a special section on our website called Those We've Lost Photo Gallery to honor the memories of people who died during the pandemic. You can upload their photos and share their names and your memories of them. Just head to kgt.com and click on that hot link icon. Well, half of American adults 18 and up have had at least 1 dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. The CDC announced a milestone today. Almost 130 million people 18 or older have received the vaccine. Now, that's slightly more than 50% of the total adult population. Almost 84 million adults, almost 1/3 of the population, have been fully vaccinated. This comes as all Americans 18 years old and up are now eligible to receive the coronavirus vaccine. President Joe Biden made the announcement last week, nearly 2 weeks ahead of the date he initially announced, which would have been in May. Well, here at home, the mass vaccination site at the Kern County Fairgrounds opened up last week to drive-through shots. On their first day, Kern Public Health says they administered 650 doses in the drive-through alone. Organizers called it a great start. Both the walk-through and drive-through vaccine clinics will be open this week from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can sign up on the state's website, myturn.ca.gov. And remember, one of the easiest ways to sign up to get the vaccine is to head to the state's website, myturn.ca.gov. You can also call that number on your screen. That number is 833-422-4255.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
All right, taking a look at your 17 Health Watch, the pandemic was easily a stressor for most people. Now, some handled the stress of the pandemic better than others. 17's Ileana Kepian has more.
While alcohol abuse and liver disease is generally higher in men than in women, this past year has led to some shifts in those reports.
There has been an increase in women using alcohol, particularly younger women. And there's been articles such as the article at the University of Michigan that has seen an increase of up to 30% in younger women abusing alcohol that subsequently leads to liver disease.
Substance abuse across the board increased during the pandemic, but ads on television and media posts have amplified the use of alcohol as an escape.
There's actually been ads on TV that have suggested to drink alcohol as a way to suppress, if you would, or help with the anxiety and stress.
According to the executive director of Aspire Counseling Services substance abuse facility, the temptation doesn't end there.
There is a lot of memes and things on social media about moms drinking, with the whole distant learning, the stress of having your kids home, just trying to get it through the day, it's wine 30 or, wine's cheaper than therapy, things like that, things that people think are very comical, and they say, and unfortunately, it is a serious matter.
Kaysen says last March, alcohol sales increased by 54% in comparison to 2019 sales, and online sales increased by 262%. Heavy drinking among women increased by 41% since the start of COVID-19. The recommended amount of alcohol women should have per day is 5 ounces. For men, it's double that.
The reason I believe we haven't seen an increase of women in treatment, there's a few reasons. One, it's less socially acceptable for women to drink heavily. Women are seen as the caretakers, getting the kids off to school, making dinner, getting the kids in bed, taking care of their significant other. So because of that, they are more likely to be secretive about their drinking. And because they're more secretive about their drinking, then they're less likely to get help for their drinking because nobody really knows that there's a problem.
The problem is that once you're done with the alcohol and you come back to normal, the problems are still there. So it doesn't really solve any problems, but people think of it as a way to escape for a while.
Now, if you or someone you know needs help with addiction or substance abuse, help is available in the community through churches, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and more. Kern County Behavioral Health and Recovery Center crisis hotline is 1-800-991-5272. Substance Use Division access line is 1-866-266-4898. And Aspire Counseling Services Addiction and Substance Abuse 24/7 informational hotline is 1-888-585-7373. And Aspire Counseling Services says last March, alcohol sales rose by 54%. Since then, they've lost 15 clients to overdose and alcohol-related use. They say this is a significantly higher number, especially when you consider that's more than 1% per month. All right, well, you have a chance to get your children up to date on immunizations this week. Adventist Health is hosting a child immunization clinic in the parking lot of the Walmart Supercenter on Gosford Road. It's happening until 2 p.m. today. Vaccinations are free. Just call ahead to schedule an appointment. That number is 869-6740. And if you missed today's event, don't worry. There are 2 other clinics happening this week. For a full list of locations, head to our website, kget.com. Well, starting today, the Kern County Library will increase their indoor capacity 50% across their 13 branches. In addition, individuals will no longer need appointments to visit the library, and volunteers are welcome back as well. They will also resume accepting book donations today. The library plans to phase up to 100% capacity as staffing allows. If you would prefer to remain socially distanced, the library still offers their curbside services. Curbside appointments can be made via the library's website. That is on your screen. And time is running out to attend the annual Chocolate Affair. United Way of Kern County is back with its 7th annual event, helping to benefit their early childhood education and literacy program. This year, they'll be offering dine-in along with a curbside drive-through dinner pickup. Dinner includes Luigi's famous tri-tip dinner, red pasta, green salad, dinner rolls, and a box of desserts. You must purchase tickets by tomorrow, and you can do that at www.chocolateaffair.social. The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.